In today's video, we're going to talk a little more about delicate situations and how to handle them at year-end parties. Hi, how are you? I'm Juliana Santiago, co-founder of Institute of Etiquette and Protocol, the Institute of Etiquette and Protocol, and an etiquette consultant. And today, here on the Etiquette and Protocol channel, we're going to talk a little more about situations and what not to do at year-end parties. Delicate situations that happen and what you can avoid in order to actually convey a positive image. There with your family, with the people you meet in that kind of situation. What happens at year-end parties is that we end up meeting a lot of people again. Family members that we often only see once a year, or a little more than that. And some awkward situations happen year after year. So, to make sure you don't make any mistakes or commit any faux pas, I'm going to share some situations with you and tell you what you should do in each one. First of all, those who follow the channel know that I talk about this a lot. It's about people who ask unwanted questions. So we have some questions. Actually, I've already made a video about this, 2 videos actually here on the channel, about unwanted questions, right? That people ask that aren't nice, and why aren't they? Sometimes these questions are closely related to personal matters. Oh, and what about girlfriends? Girlfriends, where are they? You've been married for 10 years. Haven't you decided to have kids yet? Wow, you got a good job, huh? You must be making a lot of money, right? Then you can say you're earning a lot. Or that person who looks at you and says, wow, what a bag. How much did it cost? You can tell me. I'm sure it was expensive. So avoid this kind of question, this kind of comment that can be extremely negative and make you end up in that group of annoying family members, right? Don't you want to be part of that group? So be careful with what you say. Try not to ask too many questions. If you haven't seen someone in a while, let them share more about their life and listen more, right? Because I think that's going to be a safer way to go in that sense. Another thing is to pay attention to how much you drink at year-end parties. Drinking isn't a faux pas, it's not a breach of etiquette, but we need to know our limits. Because that can make people see you in a somewhat negative light. You might end up losing a bit of awareness about what to say and what not to say. So, it's important that to stay true to yourself, you control your use of alcoholic beverages. Because many times when we drink too much, we end up saying things we wouldn't say if we weren't drinking, and then we lose a bit of our critical sense. And I don't want that to happen to you. Especially when we're talking about family gatherings where many people might end up thinking differently from each other. Sometimes there are different religious or political opinions. And then, feeling more comfortable there, you end up bringing up these topics which can be extremely delicate and negative for you to go to the event. It's not just about getting tipsy or drinking too much, it's about all the consequences, so it's best to avoid it. And one interesting thing that I didn't mention before is about how to get out of a delicate situation, right? I talked about the questions about which topics we shouldn't discuss. So you won't be seen as an annoying person. But what about when that happens? How do you get out of a situation where someone makes a comment you don't like? I know it can be extremely hard. Sometimes we just put on a serious face, but a really good strategy is to get out of it with humor, right? So you can say to the person, wow, you're curious, huh? You're curious? Or like, wow, what a bad conversation, huh? So the person also realizes that wasn't appropriate. Of course, you're going to say it in a playful tone because many times these questions also come in a playful tone, right? That playful but curious tone from someone who's just curious. But you end up answering in a playful tone too, and everyone ends up doing well in that situation. Since the person made a mistake by joking and asking an inappropriate question, using humor to stop it is a good way to handle the situation. I'm speaking personally, but it's a good strategy that doesn't make things heavier. We're talking about parties, celebration, reconnecting, and enjoying good times. So it's also important for the atmosphere to stay light. So if you tell the person that you didn't like it, that it wasn't positive, that can turn into a snowball. That's really bad for the environment, for the whole situation. And speaking of delicate situations, right? A delicate situation that happens a lot is when you get a gift that you don't like. Whether it's from someone in your family, a secret Santa, or even a secret Santa at work, this happens a lot. What will you do? The etiquette rule is clear. We shouldn't open the gift immediately. We should read the card that comes with it first, if there is one. If there's a card, open and read it, hold back your excitement, then open the gift. If not, that's fine. Already keep in mind that you need to say thank you. Inside yourself, it needs to be clear that you are going to receive the gift and that you have to thank the person right away. So, get ready for that, okay? Don't let your reactions and your facial expressions take over you. If you know that you might get a gift there and it could be something you don't like, something that's not to your taste, not your preference, go prepared to open the gift. So control yourself, open it, say thank you, and mention that you're very happy with the person's gift and that you liked it. About the thought, you don't have to lie and say, wow, I love the gift, it was everything I wanted. Or even say that you didn't like it, but you can say, wow, thank you so much for the thought. Thank you for remembering me. I'm really happy that you picked me in the Secret Santa. So try to already have some phrases and expressions ready to help you keep your self-control in this kind of situation, especially if you're a more expressive person, someone who ends up saying things and then regrets it. So it's a good idea to take the safer route, okay? Especially if you have trouble knowing what to do or not to do in certain situations or occasions. And if you don't follow the channel yet, don't forget to subscribe here to the Etiquette and Protocol channel. Follow me on social media as well for much more content. I would love to have you on all the other platforms. Follow us and take the opportunity to like this video too. Have you liked this video yet? Have you given it a like? I'm here. Look, I'm waiting for you to like it and subscribe to the channel. There are a lot of people who watch the videos but aren't subscribed, and I would love to have you here all the time. Don't forget to keep watching. Another situation that happens a lot is event planning. Many end-of-year parties, get-togethers, and Christmas celebrations are often shared. For example, sometimes one person is responsible for buying everything and splitting the cost. Sometimes one person actually pays for the whole family, or sometimes each person brings a dish. Whatever path was chosen for your end-of-year organization, for your get-together, it needs to be very well thought out and really agreed upon with the other people. So it's essential for you to make it clear. If you hired a catering service, if that catering is going to be shared, what is the cost of the possible event? So people can give their opinions, right, agree or not, especially if you're not the one who's going to pay for everything. In the case of an event with shared dishes, where everyone is going to bring their own, it's a good idea to remind the people who are bringing food about the number of guests. Because situations can happen where someone says they're going to bring, for example, a ham, and they bring enough for 10 people, not for 20, which is the number of guests. And that can create a problem for you since you're the one hosting everyone at your house. It may seem like you didn't plan well or have enough food at home, which isn't good. Everything needs to be discussed very thoroughly, especially expenses. How is this division going to be made? Recently, I went to a celebration where each person brought a dish, but each person actually had a cost with that dish. And a very interesting alternative was for each person to add up the amount they spent preparing that dish. So, how much did that food cost? Because of course, meat is going to have a different price, for example, than a side dish. We ended up dividing the total equally, so everyone paid the same. So, even if other people are going to help prepare the food and the costs will be split, it's a good idea to go this route. I think that's an option for you all. And remember, you are the one hosting, you are the one providing the place for that get-together. Remember that you are responsible even if you're not preparing all the food, even if the event has a shared menu. That's your house, so even if you don't want to, you have a responsibility there as the hostess. It's important for you to keep that in mind, and there's something else too. Now, speaking more from the guest side, it's important for us to know the time when the party has come to an end. So, If you're a guest who likes to stay until the end, it's important for you to notice with the host what time that gathering is supposed to end. If you know that your family, your group of friends, or your co-workers are people who like to stay there chatting, people who never want the party to end, who stay, are fine, right? That's fine, but everything is agreed on by the group. But otherwise, it's important for you to watch and notice the host's signals. Notice if the person is getting more tired, if they've stopped serving things, if they're sitting down more. Pay more attention to the host so you know when to leave. It's important for us to be aware of this. Still talking about being a guest, another mistake is people who don't follow the host's instructions. So, for example, the host sets the time for 9 o'clock and the person arrives at midnight for dinner. For example, the gathering is set for 1 in the afternoon, but the person arrives at 4. So, especially when it comes to time, we need to pay attention and respect the schedules and conditions. That event was organized, right? The processes that event will have, what will happen, how it will work, and respecting all of that. And if you can't arrive on time, let the host know in advance, right? Let them know that you won't be able to arrive on time. That way, you give the person freedom and they don't have to wait for you, right? Waiting for you. Or in that situation where they don't know what time you're going to arrive. This causes discomfort in the environment and for other guests. And what if you're unsure whether you're a good guest or not? How about joining our etiquette and good manners training? A complete training where I talk about hostess etiquette, party etiquette, guest etiquette, restaurant etiquette, and table manners. It's a complete course where you'll learn everything about etiquette, good manners, and proper behavior. So you can project a positive personal image, make new connections, and truly be a pleasant person at all times. Here is a QR code that you can point your phone at and you'll be directed to our website. You can also click the link below this video, and by using the coupon YouTube, you'll get a special discount on your first purchase. If you're not a student at our school, I would love to welcome you there. Don't forget to join this training, a training that has already been taken by thousands of people. Still talking about how to be a good guest, another point I like to emphasize is this: don't be the person who wants to eat first. So, not only respect the event's arrival time, but also respect the moments that will happen there. So, eating before the dinner time, not respecting the moment that's going to happen there. Especially at Christmas dinner, when everyone wants to sit together, Try to respect, try to follow the rules not only of the hostess but also of the group. Don't be the person who wants to be different or who only thinks about yourself. Being that selfish person is extremely negative. And sometimes this mistake is even made by older people who are already in a more mature stage of life. But they insist on thinking that everyone there needs to please them in some way. So, hey, how about having a moment at the table, having a nice time with the people who are there? So, wait for everyone to sit down, wait for the right time and respect that. That's really important. Another thing, also speaking of respect, is prayers. Some families have the habit of praying, dedicating that moment. They have their own ways and expressions of faith. And if you by any chance don't like it or don't participate, just respect it. Don't make jokes, don't laugh out loud, don't make inappropriate comments. If you don't want to take part in that moment, move to another room or participate quietly, just sharing that moment with the others. But never make fun of or do things that could actually diminish those people's faith. Look, I could spend hours and hours here talking about how you can be a good guest. Topics you can discuss in conversations, what to mention and what to avoid. And right here, I'll leave a video talking about topics that elegant people don't discuss at social events. I think this video will help you a lot and will really complement the topic of this year-end party video. If you have any questions or any topics you'd like to see here, don't forget to comment below because I love seeing your comments and questions. I'll be here. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much and see you in the next video.